My family accused me of being a creep to my sister, so they kicked me to the streets, but now after 30 years they want to meet in person to apologize. I lost my mom when I was 12 to breast cancer, so that just left me and my dad. When I was 14, Dad met and married my stepmom Ashley, who brought with her my stepbrother Mark and stepsister Emily. I got along with Ashley and Emily really well, but Mark not so much. He and I were always getting into arguments and fights. I was always told by my dad to give Mark a break because he's been the man of his house for a while. Anyways, when I was 15, I met a girl at school, Lisa, and we started dating, as much as one can date at 15. However, Mark apparently had a crush on her and was mad that I asked her out. He started a fight over it, in which my dad had to intervene once again. And somehow I again was made to be the bad guy. One day after my 16th birthday, my stepmom was putting away my laundry and started yelling, which was awkward because my girlfriend Lisa was there. We all ran thinking the worst. When we got to my room, my stepmom was holding several pairs of my sister's undergarments, yelling at me why they were in my drawer. I had no answer as I'd never seen them before. Of course no one believed me, no matter how much protesting I did. Then Mark piped up saying he always caught me staring at his sister and thought it was creepy, and caught me once saying I wish I could marry her. He was obviously lying, but that was all it took. My girlfriend backhanded me, called me nasty names like I was some creep, and then told me we were done and walked out. My dad grabbed me by the arm and threw me out of the house. He was yelling at me that he wasn't going to put his daughter at risk from a creep. I banged on the door to be let in, crying and telling them it was all lies told by Mark. My dad apparently had enough. I heard the locks. He opened the door and shoved me to the ground and told me to get lost. I told him I had nowhere to go and he said that wasn't his problem, and then he closed the door. I found myself on the streets with nothing to my name and no place to go. I tried calling my dad's parents, but he had already called them and they told me they won't help a creep. My mom's parents passed away before I was born, so I really had no options. I lived on the streets for 2 years, doing what I had to in order to survive. No kid should have had to do what I had to do in order to just live. There were some really dark days. Shortly after I turned 18, I found a job working at a boxing gym states away from where I began this horrible journey. I worked there for years and learned the sport, which helped me with my hate and anger. Then one day I met a new girl, May, who was only 20, at the cafe down the street from the gym. At this point I was 35, and I know it's a huge age gap, but we just clicked. I don't believe in fate, or soulmates or any of that stuff like that, but if there is such a thing then we had it. We dated for 2 years and then got married. Her dad was an electrician and hired me afterwards. I think he did so mostly to know I would be able to support his daughter and know I was doing right by her, but also in case he needed to keep me in check. He never said this to me, but as a dad I get it now. Fast forward 15 years later, we are still together with 4 beautiful daughters. I just passed my master's license as an electrician, which is all thanks to my wife for pushing me to get my GED. But just this last weekend I received an email from my stepsister. Not sure how she got my email address, but I know it isn't hard on the internet. Mind you, I'm now pushing 53, so it's been over 30 years since I've heard from any of them. It was a long email. Not gonna give you all of it, but the meat of it is they now know what really happened. Mark, I guess, was busy drinking with his buddies on Friday and somehow my name was mentioned. Mark, I guess, started bragging about how he set me up and took my girl all those years ago. You heard it right, Mark ended up getting together with Lisa and they married. They were all laughing, hoping I passed away on the streets, a bunch of rude and vile stuff. I guess he forgot Lisa was there and she heard it all. So she called my stepsister to let her know, and so Emily spent all weekend trying to find me. Like I said, the email was long. Short of it is, they want to apologize face to face and want to make up for lost time. I'm indifferent to the idea though. I have no ill feelings towards her, she obviously was young and had no real say in the matter. But with lots and lots of therapy, I learned to let go of that hate and anger and to let go of them. As well, with all the love I receive from my wife, kids and in-laws, it's all I really need. I'm of the idea of just deleting the email and moving on like nothing happened. My wife thinks I should at least respond back, even if to say something snarky like, "Thanks for finally believing me, it only took more than 30 years." Should I even entertain this communication with them or just delete the email?